When I first heard my mentor say that I didn't have to regress my clients, I didn't have to relax my clients, I didn't have to work with their inner child and have them visualize their inner child in order for them to have breakthroughs and transform their lives, I was like, you're full of shit. No way. Because in traditional hypnotherapy school, which was where I initially started my journey, I was taught that, we had to do all of these steps, right? We had to do the induction. We had to deepen our clients. We had to convince themselves that they are suggestible by having them pretend that they are sniffing a lemon or they're biting into a lemon or that they have magnets in between their hands or their hands are stuck. We were taught that to start that before actually investigating the problem. And I didn't really know any better back then. So when I heard my mentor say that that's not necessary, I like didn't believe him. I was like, you're full of shit. Until I started to really open up to this idea because it's just the concept initially of not having to do all those things like the induction, the deepeners, the suggestibility for me in my sessions took 10 to 15 minutes, sometimes 20 if I decided I was going to do a full body scan to relax my client if they were someone who was hypervigilant. And I had a lot of clients. So, just that alone took what would take at least 20 minutes, the first part of the session. And so toying with the idea of no longer needing to do that and just saving at least 20 minutes in my session was very intriguing to me. So then when I finally just kind of dove in and really immersed myself in his content, I started to change my mind. I started to, just looking at the content, looking at the demonstrations of conversational hypnosis in action, it made a lot of sense unconsciously. Like I couldn't explain why it made sense, but it definitely did. And so when I finally learned the method of not relying on those things, not relying on scripts, not relying on inductions or deepeners and really focusing the attention on investigating a client's problem instead, which actually was not taught in my training school. Like we were taught how to hypnotize, we were taught how to do an intake, we were taught how to record a recording and write a script regarding the recording and do all that stuff. We were not really taught how to investigate our client's problem. And of course, when you don't know, you just don't know, right? I didn't know how truly important it was to learn how to investigate a client's problem. And for me, particularly, it was a very natural skill for me because I came from a nursing background. So investigating client's problem is very second nature to me until I worked with other students. And when I was the practice client and they were just not good investigating the problem. So I saw the gap there and I saw the differences, which is not really their fault because it wasn't really taught anyway, right? But anyway, off tangent there. When I really started to immerse myself in learning how to investigate a client's problem, then that was when the results of my clients became so much faster because instead of taking the first 20 minutes of the session, just relaxing them and convincing them that their mind is powerful, which at a deep unconscious level they know anyway, right? They know that already. We don't have to convince them. The mind is powerful and intelligent. So what's the point in doing it when I started just really investigating the client's problem from the beginning, I could get a breakthrough within 20 minutes, and instead of spending the first 20 minutes relaxing, I spent the first 20 minutes giving a breakthrough. And isn't that a more pleasant experience for the client? Isn't that a better way to do the therapeutic aspect of hypnosis? Isn't that more fulfilling feeling for us to look at the clock and say, "Oh shit, it's only been 20 minutes," and look at all the breakthrough that my client's having? Isn't that more fulfilling for both parties, right? It's just a win-win. And so when I just really just opened up my mind to the possibility of something else. When I opened my mind up to the possibility that it doesn't have to be that way, that there is another way, that was just like the biggest investment, the biggest breakthrough that I had in my career, because now I'm no longer wasting time. I'm actually doing the thing that I love doing anyway, which is facilitating client breakthroughs. And so just by opening my mind up and allowing for something that triggered me initially, and just like leaning into that and considering and opening up my mind, it really changed the game for my hypnosis business, and pretty much everywhere in my life. Because if you can allow yourself to open up to the different possibilities, that just transcends into other areas of your life, not just in your hypnosis business, right? But in your relationships, your health, if you're able to just open yourself up to finding another way, a better way, then that's just going to make you grow faster, which grows your business and everything else in your life faster. And so this was definitely the biggest skill set that I used, and has really the amount of growth in a small amount of time has been quite an amazing experience just because of this one skill. So I encourage you to definitely consider differently. If you are triggered by someone else's content that is different than your own, lean into that and allow and soothe yourself. Use your own methods to soothe yourself, because this might be the key for you completely, not just transforming your practice, but hundreds and maybe thousands of your future clients' lives too.